With his arrival back in the U.S. on Thursday, many are wondering what will happen to the soldier who went AWOL, fleeing voluntarily into North Korea. 23-year-old Army Private Travis King crossing there into North Korea in July, spending months in custody. Now the question is, how will he be treated since being back on U.S. soil? Like a soldier or a spy? Let's find out. Let's bring in Joel Rubin, who served as Deputy Assistant Secretary of State under the Obama administration. Good morning to you, Joel. So the Army has not classified Travis King as a deserter just yet. But how much longer following his mental evaluation, physical evaluation, might we know if he faces any charges?
Well, Adrienne, it's great to be with you to discuss this. This is such a unique case that clearly there's no roadmap for how to proceed, but there are some guideposts. And the big guideposts are that after the evaluation, the Army is going to have to look at his case overall. Remember, he was incarcerated in South Korea, and then he fled. And that's why he went to North Korea. So there's a whole backstory to his decision to go to a country that's like a gulag. And so they're going to give him time to get normalized, get accustomed to being back in the United States. And then I'm certain that they're going to start to really review the case in its totality as to his fleeing justice and committing an illegal act by going into North Korea.
Okay, you said it, an illegal act by going into North Korea.
Yep.
Do you expect you'll face charges?
I do. That doesn't mean without sympathy, but this can't happen. The military can't allow for individuals to just cross willy-nilly into North Korea or to commit other illegal acts and not put some fine line around that. And so certainly they're going to, I would assume, handle it gently and with care as they should, but that doesn't mean to ignore it. This is important to set a clear point that committing illegal acts, crossing into North Korea, that's a no-go.
I mean, his family is shocked at what he did. No doubt relieved that he's back home, but certainly a couple of them have said, you know, we think there must be something going on with him mentally for him to ever run into North Korea, as if that's a safer place than U.S. custody. The Pentagon taking him to a program that helps Americans reacclimate after being detained. Obviously, we don't know if he was abused or tortured, but was it surprising to you that North Korea released him so soon?
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing really boggles the mind. I mean, there's very little insight into the actual decision-making in North Korea at the leadership level, all the way down to what they're doing at the operational level. But he was ejected by the North Koreans. In fact, the North Koreans over a month ago told China, told our protecting powers, Sweden, the Swedish diplomats, that it didn't want him any longer and wanted to get rid of him. So this is a very bizarre story. And clearly getting clarity from him and his state of mind, that is imperative. North Korea obviously didn't want to have anything to do with holding on to this soldier and decided it just wasn't worth it.
Yeah, and what you're saying is kind of what a lot of Americans might have been feeling, like, oh, well, he must have been worthless to them in terms of any advantage to holding him custody. No. But were you surprised that China aided in his release? How did that all happen?
You know, I really wasn't. I mean, China, despite the tensions between us and China, it is a responsible government in terms of managing relations when there are hard issues at stake. That doesn't mean that they're going to do everything we want. But in this case, China, it's the only country with a border to North Korea. North Koreans wanted to get rid of him. They used the proper diplomatic channels with what we call a protecting power, meaning Sweden is the American representative in North Korea. The Swedish took him, passed him over through the border to American custody, to our ambassador there, and off he went to the United States. It was the responsible, right thing to do. It shows that there are some ways to still engage with China on a practical level, and clearly this was one of them, and it was well done and well executed by all of these different parties.
Yeah, you have to wonder, what in the world did North Korea think? Because we've had situations like this happen where someone accidentally stumbles across the border, though that could be in question. Somebody running into the country, man, and giving him up so soon. Yeah, like you said, a bizarre case. Joel Rubin, thanks for being here. Have a good weekend. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.